Hey y'all, welcome to Lumberjillville. Women's wrestling lives here. Now today we have a very exciting review of the brand new Elite Series 81. But before we get to that, I just want to say that Jilloween was a lot of fun. And those reviews took a lot of effort, but they were just a blast to make, so if you haven't seen them, check them out. But that being said, now that Jilloween's over, I can take off this costume of Co-Mayor Alexa.
Easy for you to say.
Oh, hey there, Co-Mayor Alexa. Why are you, still dressed in your Jilloween costume?
I haven't been able to get out of this bunny costume since Jilloween. By the way, are you wearing leggings?
Hey, don't you worry about my leggings, you got it? But, yeah, I'll help you out of that thing soon. But for now, you are just in time, because we have a special double Elite review today.
Oh boy, who are you reviewing?
Well, I'm glad you asked, because I'm reviewing the strongest, the fastest, and the toughest figure here in Lumberjillville. And also the oldest.
You need to hire a writer for your jokes. Anyways, can you just get me out of this dumbass bunny costume?
Yeah, sure, come on. So, let's start off with this review by taking a look at the brand new Elite style boxes here. Now, I know we've seen images online, and honestly, it's not a big deal to me because I open my figures, but if you're a mint-on-card collector, it's pretty noticeable. And that, of course, is the certified authentic big logo on the box. Like I said, it's really not that big of a deal, but it is kind of gaudy. But another addition that I really like is the Superstar's image on the front of the box, which is a new addition. So that's kind of a catch-22 for mint-on-card collectors. But other than that, you know, we got the artwork on the side. Nice photos, a little bio on the back. Knoxville's own, love it. Bianca Belair. So that being said, let me open her up and let's get a closer look. Now I'm going to be honest, I'm glad that I chose to review this Bianca Belair before Mae Young. Because to be honest with you, there's a lot to talk about this figure, and we'll get a closer look in a minute. First thing I want to say is this attire is directly correlated to her NXT TakeOver Phoenix attire from January 26, 2019, where Shayna Baszler successfully defended her NXT Women's Championship against Bianca. Now that being said, there's so much that comes with this figure and so much extra detail up close that I can't wait to give you all a closer look. But I have to tell you, and the first thing I'm going to point out, is that this figure isn't just an Elite. It's pretty much an Ultimate as far as articulation goes. And what I mean by that is this is the first time that in an Elite we got this foot joint, which I actually don't like at all because I have that Ultimate Charlotte and it's really loose, and even this one's a little loose. And it makes it really hard to display when that's a loose joint. But that's the first time we've seen that on women's Elites. So that being said, there's a lot to cover on this figure. So the first thing we're going to do is take a closer look at that hair and face scan. First thing we're going to cover is his face and hair. And I have to tell you, there's a lot of extra details that we couldn't see in the images that they released that make this figure over the top awesome. So the first thing we're going to look at is obviously that face scan looks great. Looks awesome, right? Now moving on to her hair, she has a signature long ponytail braid. And this time it might be a little thinner than her basic. And we'll actually do a comparison here. But we're going to take a look at this figure first. But it's actually very, I don't know, moldable, I guess you could say. It's pretty thin, but definitely a lot of playability with it. A lot of different positions you can kind of bend it in. But looking closer at that braid, on the side it has EST printed in silver with little silver designs throughout. And on the back of the head, y'all, we got Bianca Belair, EST printed in silver on the back of the head. I mean, that's freaking awesome. That really puts this figure over the top already, and we haven't even got to the attire. So honestly, this head, this hair, this face, perfect. Now let's move on to the attire, and then we'll get to the accessories, because that's another mind-blowing part of the review that I can't wait to show y'all. Moving on down to her attire, it is impressive. And let me tell you, it's very similar to Elite Series 80 Bayley in a sense that she has a uniquely molded top, which I absolutely love. And looking closely at the detail, it's got the pink lips on the front with the design of her. I mean, that is just perfect. And it's printed all over her attire, which looks great and is very accurate. But it might be a little hard to see with the lighting, but she has little silver, I guess, dots or sequins all over it, which gives it a shine type appearance, and that makes it perfect. Now, moving her around to the back, you can see that she continues to have the intricate design, and she has those lips all the way up and down her back with Bianca tattooed right in the middle. Now, something I noticed that's such a small detail, but again, it's a detail and it is amazing, is on her armbands. It's white painted on, but there's a little silver detail, and that's on each side. She also has silver paint going around her wrist, simulating a bracelet. We got a wrist tattoo there. And then moving on to her lower extremity, you know, that design continues with EST on the back. And her boots are just a basic black and silver, but that silver is very metallic, very shiny, and looks amazing. So again, moving on, you know, from her head, this is a perfect 10 out of 10 as far as attire goes. And just the extra detail and effort they put into this is just simply amazing. Now that we've covered her attire, let's take a look at the accessories and then put them on her. Alright, now let's cover the accessories because she comes with some pretty awesome ones. So first off, she comes with 2 extra pairs of hands. She has semi-open ones meant for grasping that she comes with. And she also has these open ones. And then fists. Now, I know y'all don't want to see those because we're going to the main event here. We have her signature sunglasses here. And if you look closely, it's supposed to have like the little rhinestones circling around. It does a nice job. It'll be interesting to see how they look on her. Now, what really takes the cake in all this is this jacket. In an era where a lot of these Mattel Elites are coming with very cheap fabric robes, in my opinion, this is like a pleather type jacket. I mean, this is insane. This is like an ultimate style jacket. So, that being said, let's put it on her. Let's put all these accessories on her and see how she looks. Now, just look at this, y'all. Let's take a moment to appreciate just how far these women's elites have come. I mean, look at this. This is insane. Okay, so getting a closer look at her with her sunglasses. They're very signature to her, and like I said, it has a silver outline, almost like rhinestones it's supposed to. And mine came a little bent, which made them look a little like mad scientist goggles when I got them out. But they do look pretty good on her. And they depict exactly what they're supposed to. And this jacket fits her perfect. Sure, the sleeves might be a little baggy on the end, but that is such a minor, silly gripe. Because just looking at it on her, I mean, it fits her great, honestly. And the fact that she comes with all these different hands, and she's so posable. And this jacket does allow her to be posed in different positions. Like, you can put her in a lot of her different signature poses. So, honestly, just look at how far these women's elites have come. I know I just said that, but it's pretty amazing, and it's awesome to see. And we can hope that it continues in this trend. Something I said I was going to do is compare her Elite Series 81 with her Basic Series 107. And to me, there's really no comparison. Now, the major differences you're going to notice is her ponytail braid is a lot thicker on her basic. However, her Elite one is more accurate, and because it's thin, it really has unlimited posability. I mean, you could put her in literally any pose that involves that ponytail braid, and it looks amazing. Now, the face is obviously better. The attire is way more deco-oriented on the Elite, as we expect. In the basic, honestly, that attire just didn't do it for me. I hated how they had the painted-over generic bra mold, and then everything else just looked like a painted custom job, honestly. So that's really no comparison. Now, the biggest thing I'm going to point out, should this Bianca Belair Elite and Basic be more ripped and jacked? Absolutely. Looking at her basic, she really has no abdominal musculature. But looking at the Elite, they do a good job of giving her broader shoulders, you know, muscular arms, and her midsection does look muscular. But it should be a lot more chiseled, and that's a pretty minor gripe, but that's really the only thing that I can notice about this. So that definitely would have been a nice addition, but all in all, if you have this Elite, this basic was a nice placeholder, but you can put that to the side because this thing rules. Whew, let's take a deep breath after that amazing Bianca figure. Let's take a closer look at this Mae Young. Again, this packaging is new for Elites. Got that certified authentic logo there. Again, it doesn't bother me, but I can see why it bothers some. But it's got the image of her on the front, and that's nice. On the side, same image, other side, her in probably photoshopped wrestling attire. Same thing on the back. And if you look, it's got a little bio. So that being said, she comes with a lot of different stuff. So let's take her out and see how she looks. Now, Mae Young here was a true pioneer in women's wrestling. I mean, this is way before television, and a lot of people aren't too familiar with her early career, but if you look it up, it's pretty amazing. And one thing's for sure, Mae Young was a tough woman. And honestly, I did a lot of research to try to figure out exactly when she wore this, and it was a little disheartening because the only real things popping up were her getting powerbombed through tables or off stages, and that just really bothered me how she was used in the late 90s in the WWE, almost as a laughing stock. I hated it, honestly. I thought she deserved better, but from what I understand, she enjoyed it, and boy did she show how tough she was. But from what I saw, there's a SmackDown episode on October 21st, 1999, where Mae Young faced off against Moolah, where Moolah retained the women's championship. And it was actually a heck of a match. It was short, but those two women could really go. So that being said, we're going to take a closer look at the figure. This time starting with the accessories on, and then we'll remove them and see how it looks. So let's start off by looking at her accessory, and that's the Mae Young Classic Trophy. Now she does come with a crown and a jacket, and we'll get to that, but this thing is huge, and it rules. So it's actually really tall. Compared to her, it's about the same height. It's got a black base, a gray middle, and a clearish top. Now looking inside, it's hollow, but let me show you a feature that I think is pretty cool. Turn off all the lights. You put your iPhone light underneath it, and then boom, it lights up just like the real trophy. Now, something I really wanted to try to do is find one of my daughter's little LOL blacklight lights and put that under there and see how it looks. And I couldn't find it. So that being said, I think this is definitely something that you creative folks out there can find a way to put a little bluish or purplish light inside there and make it light up just like it did in real life. Now, that being said, this thing rocks. And let's move on to the figure. Alright, so now we're going to take a closer look at the other accessories she comes with, and also the figure in greater detail. So she does come with an extra set of hands that are semi-open. And I know that joke's been done a million times on social media that these are her kids or twins or she should have only had one. But that's a joke I'll slide past because it's been done so many times. Now, looking closer at what else she comes with is she has this awesome crown that fits her nicely. Now, taking it off, it has a silver molded detail to it. And then this jacket is actually pretty nice quality jacket. It's got a satin type look to it. And we take that off. And whoa, okay, so apparently Mae Young had tattoos, and I did not know this, and they included those, which is awesome. Now looking closer at that face, it does look a lot like her. I love that smiling expression. I think that's great. And that hair mold is also great. So it does look a lot like her. Is it perfect? No, but from what they had to work with, it looks awesome. Now moving on to her attire, I call this the Baywatch lifeguard attire. I mean, that's what it looks like, honestly. Just a red singlet. The body mold is great to her. Looking closer at the detail, it's just all red, no real intricate designs. And then a crown there. Moving on to her boots, they're red with the silver accent to it. And something I just noticed is she doesn't have that ultimate toe articulation like Bianca has. So I'm starting to wonder if that Bianca was supposed to be an ultimate, but they switched it to the elite line. That's an interesting thing, I have to say. But either way, this figure does rock, and it really is doing her justice, honestly. So this Mae Young is great. So next, let's give them scores. So overall, I give Elite Series 81 Mae Young an overall score of an 8.5 out of 10. It is a great figure, and it does do her justice, and she deserves it. It's not the most exciting attire, but for her and what she wore, they did everything they could. And the inclusion of that Mae Young Classic trophy just puts it over the top and makes this a great figure. Now, Elite Series 81 Bianca Belair, I give it a score of a golden 10 out of 10. This figure is perfect, and it is my personal favorite Elite women's figure I have ever purchased. Now, to me, Elite 79 Io Shirai was a huge contender for Figure of the Year. But after I got this Bianca Belair, this is the Mattel Wrestling Figure of the Year. I'm not just saying men's or women's, I'm saying in general. This figure rules. And if you're a collector of the women's division, men's division, whatever division, you need to buy this figure because it is stunning. And it's very interesting with that toe articulation and all the extravagant details and extra little accessories she comes with. Makes me wonder if this was supposed to be an ultimate. But either way, this is the Figure of the Year in my opinion, and it is a must buy. Thanks for stopping by Lumberjillville. Women's wrestling lives here. Make sure to hit like, subscribe, and join. Let's make this women's wrestling figure community grow. For all future women's wrestling figure reviews, including Decade of Domination Natalya, and also a figure history of Nikki Bella, make sure you join and get ready and check them out. Have a good night, y'all.
Hey, I'm here to move in. Y'all better have a waterbed for dear old May.